Hey everybody, welcome back to another Judgment commentary of Made in Abyss Season 2. But today, we're going to be checking out Episode 7 at last. But last time, on Episode 6, Riko very nearly decided to take the deal to get Nanachi back, and that could have ended badly. Yeah, she was either going to give up her eyes or her legs, and neither would have worked out, but thankfully she got pulled out of there before she could make a final decision. But immediately following that, the village was attacked by this giant jellyfish thing, and they were all doing their best, trying to take it down, but they weren't very successful at that. Even one of the sages decided to step out and try to fight it with his giant stone sword thing, and even he was no match. Poor dude really gave it his all, but in the end, what would you expect? He was fighting a giant glob of goo with a giant hunk of stone. Maybe it would have done better if it had its mystical energy that they said it used to have. In any case, Riko decided to step in and help out. She came up with a plan, got everybody to team up on it, and in the end, they managed to take the thing down. Or so they thought. They thought they had brought it down, but instead it got back up and attacked again. Riko nearly got grabbed by the thing until Ma stepped in front and got pulled in instead. Friggin' Ma always coming in to save the day for some reason. But Riko wasn't going to let it end there. She decided that now was the perfect opportunity to finally use her white whistle, so she blows on it, and at first, didn't seem to do too much. Until Reg swooped in with an all-new Super Saiyan form and helped them take the thing down once and for all. Yep, because like we were told, the white whistles bring out the true power of artifacts like Reg, so it makes sense that when she blew on and he heard it, he was able to return to something resembling his original strength. Also, turns out the thing wasn't really a jellyfish or anything like that. Instead, it was more like a swarm of jelly bees. Yeah, that core that they took out inside of the blob, that was actually the hive, and when they took it down, they killed the queen, and it caused the swarm to just go ballistic. But now, with that taken care of, looks like we might learn a bit more about this, Cradle of Desires, or something. I think that's what this episode is called. We'll see. So, without further ado, let's begin episode 7. I know we've all waited more than long enough for that. So, where to begin? What do I say first about this bombshell of an episode? I guess let's just go over the events, shall we? They arrive. One of the first things they do is test to see if they can go back up, and they sent a few people to just get hollowed. So, that happened. And next, things seem to be going beautifully for them, swimmingly, which was obviously a sign of things to come, because they were fine. They just found a nice place to be. They found a stable source of water. There was a nice bond being formed between Voiko and Irumyui. Is that how you say that? I'm sorry, I'm Irumyui. Irumyui. I think that's how you say that. Things are going well for them. Yeah, they were just in this place. They could live. No problems, right? Bada bing, bada boom. Turns out the water is alive. And it apparently reproduces by just being drank by things. And then it lays its eggs within your very stomach. And then you get sick and then poop them out. The water itself is a parasite. A parasite that had previously taken down that giant creature that they were harvesting it from. Everybody's either dropping dead from that, or you got the people who were transforming because they found the magical wish-granting egg. Apparently, if you touch it, but your wishes are too complicated, like your heart, isn't focused, you'll just turn into some kind of tree thing. But the real travesty is with Irumyui. How everything started to go down with her. It was nightmarish to witness, but hey, that's Made in Abyss for you. It always loves to show us the nightmarish garbage involving, this kind of thing. Now, to call it garbage is not accurate, because it is very compelling, I suppose you could say, but still, it was horrific to watch. So their only chance was to give her the egg, and hope that she was able to grant a wish that could save her and everybody else. And judging by what happened, we can probably guess what the wish did for the most part. One of the things it probably did was just, make her not feel pain. It was definitely not to remove, her fears or to make her always happy because, well, we saw that couldn't be the case. Given what she was saying afterwards, you're like, oh, it doesn't hurt, it doesn't hurt. It seemed like she was focused on it hurting so much, so it removed the pain, but she was still starting to become, all messed up and corrupted. It didn't cure her necessarily, as it would seem, because it was still spreading, but it didn't hurt. But the main thing the wish seemingly granted was that she could have kids, because that is, the source of most of her misery, is that they found that she couldn't have kids, so they kicked her out. So naturally, when she's gained the ability to have a wish granted, one of her deepest desires would be to have kids, and now she can. I mean, the thing about the water sickness thing that they said that it did was that it decomposed you, and then recomposed you, which, yikes. But it was not killing her. Most of her body had been decomposed and put back together again by that point, so it would seem as though she already had some degree of immortality from the wish. However, it seemed to be the good old-fashioned monkey's paw styled wish, where, yeah, she was able to give birth, but it was just continually giving birth to little monster babies that lacked the necessary internal organs to survive. So they died almost immediately after, meaning she was just cursed to continually give birth over and over and over and watch those little monster babies die. You couldn't make me more sad if you tried. That's a bit hyperbolic, but still, that has to be one of the most tragic fates I've ever heard in my life. Just, you got this kid who was kicked out of her village because she couldn't have kids herself, and she gets a wish-granting egg, and then she's able to have kids, but they're little monster babies that die as soon as they're born. That's awful. It would almost be hubris if she had done anything to deserve that. But now we're left with how the episode ended, with her eating that soup that he had prepared, and he said he fed it to everybody else, and now they're cured. And he credits Irumyui for saving them, saying, I told you she would be our salvation. Now how is she connected to it? Well, the first immediate thought might be that he took the corpses of her children, cooked them up, and threw them into a stew. And it somehow cured them. That's about the only thing I can think of, right? Unless there was something else going on that happened off screen that would give us more context. That's about the only thing I can think of. And that would be awful. Tragic. And the worst thing about that would be that their only source of water is still the one that will cause them to decompose and die. Meaning that if they intend to keep living, they would have to keep drinking that water, while also having Irumyui keep giving birth to these things, waiting for them to die, cooking them up, and then eating them to stave off the water killing them. And they'd have to do that in an endless cycle, if that even is what's going on, and it was that he fed them Irumyui's deceased monster children. Man, this is freaking gruesome, the more I'm describing it. I hate describing it. It's terrible. Oh man, my gosh. Because I'm trying to think of any other option pertaining to her that could be the thing in that stew that cured them. And I can't think of much else. No matter what it is, that doesn't stop this from being one of the most tragic tales that I've seen in a while, especially even in Made in Abyss itself. I mean, I gotta hand it to the author. You have a twisted, brilliant mind to be able to come up with this many awful things that lead to compelling storytelling. So there you have it, Made in Abyss's patented method of having a nice, slow build-up to one huge episode of traumatic intensity in full effect. Man, I don't know where they're gonna go from here. I mean, there's still, a few points in between that we're gonna need to see before we get to where they are now, where all of them apparently turned into the sages, and Hueco got trapped down there, and yeah, she mentioned that there was, that plan to do something with the village and she was against it. Oh well, I guess we'll have to see how it continues to build up to that, but for now, I can't think of anything else that I might want to say, so thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed. I hope you did. Subscribe to be updated on more. Next time, episode 8. Yeah, maybe I can have that one out soon. Maybe, I hope so. I gotta see where this is going, man. Now that we're hitting into the stride here, I'll be doing my best to try to keep these somewhat consistent. But yeah, what an episode, man. Staggering. Let me know what you thought of it as well. Down in the comments, I would appreciate that. But for now, that's it. So, till we meet again, I will see you guys later.